the beautiful Paradise Coast and Naples, Florida. We're here on CBS Sports Network today. We're happy to bring you the Broward Motorsports Pro Watercross World Championships powered by Yamaha. And welcome to Sugden Regional Park, everybody. Dave Benz here on CBS Sports Network, where racers from around 4 continents around the world have gathered today to get a championship in various classes of personal watercraft racing. And today we will show you 3 of those classes, beginning with Pro Sport GP. Now, these personal watercraft have been modified to be a little bit more nimble and quicker in the water than your average watercraft. And well, for an inside look, how about we catch up with the 2015 Pro Watercross National Champion, Kelly Smith.
This is one of the versions of the sport boat that you'll see out in the Sport GP class. This happens to be a Sea-Doo HX. It has a 951 motor in it. It's a twin-cylinder 2-stroke. It's actually kind of a vintage class, if you will, because these boats were only made back in the 90s. They made them for a few years and then stopped production on them. But this class really gained a lot of traction and popularity and has become a really competitive class. All right, so let's take a look inside. This is the Sea-Doo 951 twin-cylinder 2-stroke. It used to be in bigger runabout boats, and it's been compacted, put inside this small little chassis, and this is the reason that I've decided to race the Sport GP class, because it's become so competitive, and it's definitely one of the most fun classes to watch.
Well, Kelly Smith, a couple weeks ago, won the national championship, as I alluded to earlier. Don Dawson and Mike Young, he would like to add a world championship to his resume here today.
Yeah, and Kelly Smith, who you just took a look at from Ludington, Michigan, he actually qualified 3rd. Keep your eyes on him. He was actually the Pro Watercross National Champion this year. And let's go down to Carly on the beach. She's at the starting line.
Thanks, guys. A rider to watch out there is Sam Nemi, a past champion in the national circuit. You know, he's going to be out there today trying to win back a world championship, because in 2013, he actually won the world championship. He took 13 years off of racing, a veteran to the sport, but when he came back in 2013, very successful. He's going to be looking to repeat that today. Back to the booth.
Thanks, Carly. We've got a bunch of great riders down here on the line. Kelly Smith is going to be on the pole position on the outside split.
And it looks like he's got Keith Dill right next to him. Keith, a former national champion 15 years ago.
Expecting some bond rail bounce in between Billy Dearman and Richard Taylor.
There we go. It looked like 1-1. And Dearman looks like he's going to snag the hole shot on the inside, but we'll let you know. We'll let you know who the hole shot getter is as they come back by our start-finish line. Again, we have got the Sport GP hole shot award from Slippery, and it's going to be close as they come through. And it looks like Billy Dearman wins the Slippery hole shot award. Don?
Yeah, Billy Dearman, who was actually injured earlier this year on one of the national tour stops, came back, was able to rehabilitate. Who knew he would be able to hold on to national championships? Now he is in a bid for a world title. And I tell you, a gentleman that has retired and come back, you would think that this guy has never quit racing.
Yeah, great to have Billy back, and actually he's coming out of an injury. He was just cleared by his doctor to race.
An old school guy, he was racing in the mid-90s. Didn't actually win any of the national tour championships, but he won several national events.
Taking a look at that hole shot again, you can see both Billy Dearman on boat number 111 and 14, Keith Dill, out of the hole in a hurry, but your Slippery hole shot winner actually came from the inch left to right in front of us here at lovely Lake Avalon.
You'll notice the different types of gear that these guys are wearing. In the front, you've got Billy Dearman with a full wetsuit on, but right behind him, Keith Dill going old school in every way. He's riding out there with a pair of board shorts on.
And I noticed the yellow flags were out there momentarily, but it looks like the flags are back in the holsters and we are back underway. As Bill Dearman, boat number 111, maintains that lead as he works his way through the chicane section up there on the top right-hand side of the track.
Now, we've been talking about the maneuverability of these boats. If you take a look at the manufacturers for the sport class, manufacturers hadn't produced this boat since the mid-90s. What has happened, though, with this huge revival of the sport, we've got a lot of aftermarket hulls and a ton of aftermarket parts coming at these guys.
Yeah, and speaking of aftermarket parts, he's sponsored by Jet Pilot, Scat Track, R&D, Riva Racing, and Judge Motorsports. Yeah, he's definitely carving it up out there as he works his way down the front straightaway. Again, 12 minutes plus 1 lap to glory here in the Sport GP class.
If I had to compare this to another sport, this is probably the closest thing to motocross. You can tell when they set up and take that turn, they're actually having to lean the boat over, make sure that they're sticking that pump in the water and keeping it hooked up. That helps you maintain your speed. All right, so again, you're watching this sport class, how they lean over, make sure the boat is hooked up. And because we're watching the Sport GP, that pretty much means open your wallet. There's really no limit on what you can put underneath the hood of these boats, but there is a downside to that. They can also detonate just as easy.
Exactly. Taking a look at Keith Dill and Bill Dearman on boat number 111. He can start to feel the heat that Dill is applying from that second place position. Everybody bunching up back there in the back as you can see them work their way around the bubble. That is Richard Taylor with the tour coat on, flapping behind him, looking a little reminiscent of Superman out there.
Yeah, it really does. Okay, so again, Billy Dearman, who is leading. Do you see that boat pop out of the water a little bit? That's the kind of stuff he does not need to be happening consistently, but he's trying to work his way through these waves, and as the laps continue to build, you'll notice that these boats are having a little bit harder time staying hooked up. Hookup is going to equal a win for him. Billy Dearman knows it.
Yeah, and especially coming off of an injury, you know, you wouldn't expect him to be that limber. And it looks like we had a pass there for second place where Richard Taylor, boat number 111, has moved into second place. He's on a 111X, so we've actually got two 111s out there, and both of them are up in front.
Yeah, a bit of a recap on what that injury caused him. They actually had an ATV roll over on top of him, had to get help to get the ATV off the top of the guys. He had all kinds of things going on with his back, cracked vertebrae. He had some problems with his ribs, really needed a lot of rehab. It's great to see him back out there, but I've got to be thinking, Mike, he's going to be, he says he's 100%, but I still got to imagine he's a little bit sore.
Yeah, got to be sorry. He's also riding a couple of different classes this weekend, so he's putting a lot of laps in as well. Been here since about Tuesday. As we look at riders coming down the front straightaway right now, I believe that is Robert Cias and Mike Bartolomeo, boat number 99. Back out on board with our leader, 111, Bill Dearman out of Madison, Mississippi.
And I tell you, his wife, Tony Dearman, it's so much fun to listen to her as we do all of the national tour stops. She always calls in and does a big shout out for her husband. It's great to see all of these families out here supporting each other. I think that's one of the fun things about personal watercraft or pro watercross racing.
And we've got Rich Taylor has moved up in front of 14, Keith Dill. Keith Dill slides back to third place, and it looks like his goggles could be giving him trouble. Maybe not enough Rain-X on them things this weekend.
Well, now that could be a big problem because one of the things that you'll notice on these sport boats, well, actually all of the boats for pro watercross, you need to have those goggles on because that splash can actually really, really hurt. And not only that, but it can prevent you from being able to ride.
Yeah, we got Chad Eggleston that just went for a swim there unofficially, doing the Mike Phelps, and another Naples resident. Maybe it was just a little hot, wanted to take a swim. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not on purpose.
Keith Dill riding for weight, shape, and performance, riding solid there in that third place position, looking to fill the podium.
Bill Dearman still setting up turns. You can tell he's working his way through that split section without any signs of fatigue. That's exactly what you have to do when you're looking at these longer format races.
It looks like Bill's working his way up through some lap traffic with time counting down. I still don't see our two card out yet, so we're still at least 3 minutes away.
Yeah, I'll tell you the other great thing about watching Bill Dearman, how he sets up the cars on those turns, working his way through the lap traffic. Keith does that nicely too.
Yeah, Keith Dill. Great to see him back out here again. He took about a 12-year hiatus before coming back to closed course racing, and one of the more fun characters that you meet in the pits.
Yeah, he's adorable. Him and his got his 10-month-old Braden here, as well as Bryson. Always brings his family to the races. Yeah, he's a ton of fun to watch.
Let's go down to Carly on the beach. She's standing by. Got some info for us.
As we near the end of the race, fatigue is starting to set in. When the riders are racing on a flat surface like this, they have to go full throttle. That means they're maxing out at about 60 miles per hour. So endurance and training are really going to be a factor for who ends up on the podium. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Carly.
Thanks for that 411, and we're back on board with Bill Dearman. But look out, here comes Sam Nemi. Sam Nemi, boat number 13, has been working his way through the pack, and he is the patriarch of Broward Motorsports.
Yep, a title sponsor for the World Championship. But interestingly enough, although he had a great week going, yesterday it was crazy in the qualifier. He pulled off the whole shot, Mike, but it was over halfway through the race. All of a sudden, he had an electrical connector that came loose. Boom, that boat stopped like a New York minute.
Wow, less than 2 minutes left to go, says our tower director, Nick Handler. So we probably got about 3 laps to go here for Billy Dearman, depending on how fast his lap times are.
Yeah, I tell you what, Tim Judge got to be happy taking a look down as well as he's riding that boat right now. Tim, one of our great mechanics.
And it looked like we just flipped over to less than 1 minute to go for Billy Dearman. So he'll probably take the white flag the next time around. It's about a lap and a half to go with a lot of racing going on behind it.
And that water getting so choppy. I love how that setup on that boat is continuing to help him maintain, keeping the boat flat, keeping it hooked up. I tell you, it is really cool to watch him. Another one of the sponsors that really helped Billy Dearman out this weekend. Jet Trim and, of course, Jet Pilot, Scat Track. Those impellers are critical on hookup.
And I'll tell you what, right now he's making his sponsors proud here on Lake Avalon as he goes through the sweeper. It looks like he's going to work his way into the inside split. About a lap and a quarter to go as he comes down the front straightaway as the hallelujah flag, as we like to call it, comes out, because right now they're getting arm pump. Less than 1 lap to go. Billy Dearman putting on a clinic out there, looking to go wire to wire.
Talking about the different sections of the track real quick. This right-hand side of the track's got some particular nasty spots. That little double chicane that you saw him just making the final turn on. That's got some areas that you can definitely drop your nose down in, but Billy has been all the way through this race, negotiating that pretty much no problem.
And Billy with about a half a lap to go, Don, before this one's in the books, and I'm sure that he'd like to take that World Championship back to Mississippi.
Yeah, I'm starting to get goosebumps because I can only imagine Tony Dearman watching right now, and I bet you she's at the edge of the couch.
Once again, quarter of a lap to go as they head into the split section one last time, and Bill Dearman. And
it's actually Billy Dearman taking the inside split like I had talked about. You really want to do that on the final lap.
Coming up to the finish line right after the split, and it's a drag race down the front straightaway. It's going to be Billy Dearman, boat number 111. Folks, we'll be right back with the 2015 Broward Motorsports Pro Watercross World Championships after a word from our sponsors.